Okay. Officially. Good morning. Welcome out to the midweek check-in from the Market Watch Group. I am Scott. I'll be your host. Here's the disclaimers. Education, illustrative purposes only. No guidance or recommendation. We are not brokers. We are not advisors. What are we going to do today? Talk about the opening analysis. We'll revisit our posture. Mindset for open trades. We talked a little bit about this. I mean, look, we know everything's building to this, right? I'm still thinking about putting something on. I don't know. It'll be an interesting event. If you didn't catch it yesterday, we're going to try. I'm going to look at my schedule today. Where will I be? Oh yeah, perfect. Around 11:55 a.m. Mountain Time. So, if you're Pacific, 10:55. If you're Central, 12:55. If you're Eastern, 1:55. Basically 5 minutes before the Fed announces. We're going to pop on. I'm going to pop on. I guess I don't know what channel. And we're going to switch it to a 1 minute chart on the futures. I'll show you. And we're going to watch as it starts to come. And it's going to amaze you. Everyone should do it, especially with a Fed report that has significance, like real significance, like this one. So I'll show you that. Revisit posture, mindset for open trades. I think everyone said we're holding. Is anyone closing trades? Maybe you're going to pair a little down? Anything like that? Or are you just ride or die? Let's go. Let me know. I'm reluctant to shut trades down in front of announcements because there's always some announcement. The market's going to convince you that there's always something that, if this goes wrong, what are we going to do? Clutch our pearls. Okay, Sandy closed them all. Okay. Here's the deal, though. And to Sandy's point, I had a lot that hit targets. So I was shutting them down as they hit targets. I'm just like, oh, okay. You got there? You're done? Perfect. We'll look at the opportunity list. There's not a lot setting up. That's the thing. All made profits. Bing, bing, bing. Love it. Sandy, well done. A good run? Has it been a good run like this last little bit? Yes. Love it. Okay. Setups. I saw BAC. I'm still thinking about it. And trading plan. We're on record keeping. Let's go jump into it. Okay. Since we're here, first and foremost, let's just dive into the futures. If you've never done it, and Sandy, I don't know what yours will be. On Thinkorswim, if you want futures, you're going to use backslash, right? So you can see when I hit backslash, it starts popping up some things, and it's going to be the ES. ES, enter. These are the E-mini S&P 500 futures. So right now you can see what it looks like. And then what you're going to do is you're going to drop it down to a 1 day, 1 minute chart. And right now you can see like in the after hours, it can get a little bit interesting. Mostly it's just pretty timid. And you can see here, whoa, that's when the market's open. And you're like, wow, that can move. Nothing you see here So what we'll do is we'll like zoom in like this. And all of a sudden, you'll see. I think my drawing tool is going to work. Let me see if I can draw right now. Do I have a pen somewhere? Oh, there we go. I was like, what is going on? And literally, we'll have all of a sudden, it will give us candles that literally look like this. I mean, it's like these enormous candles. You're like, what is going on? It'll be fun. I promise. Make sure you, if you can, come hang out with us for a minute. Okay, let's get back. So as we get to the day of, for a minute, we got to 75.25. 75.25. Yeah, don't day trade it. It is gonna whipsaw. And what'll happen is you'll see people who think they're gonna get in front of it, right? People start getting itchy, little false starts, and then you think it's off to the races. Oh, like that, but more. It's really hard to explain it, but it can go. I would expect it to be quite crazy, and you're gonna think, oh my gosh, now I've seen it, and then you'll see an even bigger one, and it's like, oh. So anyway. Good times. So we're there's still 1.5 to 1 leaning towards that bigger cut, the 50 basis point cut, but I just don't think we're gonna get it. I think it's just, I think it's misplaced wishful thinking. That's what I would call it. We don't need it. We shouldn't want it. A nice, steady Fed approach could work. There we go. Press is talking about it. He said an article yesterday talked about the uncertainty of a quarter versus a half. Something about a Wall Street Journal writer named Nick Timiraos, who is the Fed Whisperer. Ooh, a Fed Whisperer. Okay. His article last week hinted to a half, then wrote one yesterday that was leaning to a half, but still ambiguous. I don't know. Okay, we'll see if it's going to be I don't believe. I don't think that Jer Bear's the guy that brings back Fed surprises. Our last 3 Feds have been in that vein, right? Bernanke was that way. It was like Bernanke wanted to like raise the transparency of the Fed. And I disagree with that, actually. I don't think we need transparency. It just creates weird speculation. And then Yellen like carried that banner forward, and I thought for a minute that Jer Bear might be able to break the mold, but he hasn't. And you guys know who it is. It's gonna be my man, the hallowed, the revered Sir Dr. Arthur Goolsbee. And it's not Arthur. I know that's not his first name. It will be. We're working on changing it. I'm running his Goolsbee for Fed campaign. Goolsbee will bring back market shocking announcements a la Alan Greenspan, a.k.a. the Fed gangsta. Bob knew where I was going the whole time. He knew it was Goolsby. He knows when I'm starting to talk about my man Goolsby. Okay, market's open. Let's go talk about it. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a surprise. I don't think it's going to be. If I'm wrong, okay, I'll accept that. Market dips on. You can see this. This is just simply the market's uncertainty. I mean, this is nothing, right? What you just saw as it started to go into that bigger candle, that's what it's gonna do like 4 minutes before the announcement, where you're like, ooh, look at that bigger candle. It's nothing compared to what we're gonna see. It's gonna be a great show. Make sure you bring some popcorn. We'll talk about it. Yeah. I think this is just the initial, like, hey, let's kick it off. Market's going to adjust. I'm going to switch this over. I do go to, I don't know why. I've never done it on the SPY. I've always switched it to the futures. I think it would work. Well, you can kind of see reacted just a little differently as these things start to move into, what's it going to be. All right. So now here's the thing. Even if we have a negative reaction, worst case scenario right now, I see us in an ascending triangle. Worst case scenario. So as long as we don't break this and this holds up, even if we pulled back after the Fed announcement, we're going to be okay, like bullishly, right? So yeah, this will be interesting to watch. But we are overbought. Is this the kind of an announcement that can just like not care whatsoever about overbought and resistance concepts? 100%. Just, it's gone. It goes. So let's say from Sandy's perspective, she's not in anything. If the announcement's good, then it's going to turn into continuation catalysts where you can see this hike in ASCII has slowed down, but if it reaccelerates, it's a new trade, right? Kind of a breakout style pattern. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a quick peek at where we stand. What has happened? So not much has happened. It's Wednesday. We moved a little higher Monday, tested higher, but didn't hold yesterday. Sitting around the same spot today. So for 3 days, we haven't done much. Nothing's changed as far as anything, as far as our trend scores go. Volume score, nothing there. I think everything is holding up. The one. Okay, so now our concern. Bam. That's a hedge signal right there. It's not now. It's not now because it's not a valid candle. You cannot assume a daily candle is valid 3 minutes in. This is a 6.5 hour candle, right? This candle will fluctuate all day long. So but if it looks like this or worse, that's the signal. I'm going to get them posted. I didn't get a chance last night. If anyone missed the first session of the two, I will post them both, was where we talked a little bit about hedging. Yeah, if it looks like this at the end of the day or worse, I will hedge. Why? It's a high or low. It's an escalation. We popped. Clearly, we broke out of this consolidation. Now, we got back into it, but we didn't get all the way back down, right? That makes that the high or low. I felt okay that it got back into this range, But certainly the concern is that this thing can accelerate back to 30 and give us this escalation pattern that we know that we're always kind of concerned about there. So that's my number one concern. To be clear, the concern driving a hedge is that a half point might startle the market, indicating the Fed is concerned. Actually, what's driving the hedge is the higher low. Ooh, look at that. Is the higher low pure and simple. And then we would explain the higher low with it's probably a Fed-based narrative that the half a point startles the market because they think that the Fed is trying to get in front of it because they're seeing weakness more than the ability. If you remember, we said way back when, we said that if they cut in 2024, it's because inflation came down. There hasn't, from what I look at, and the Fed might look at it differently. Of course, I know that. I haven't seen anything that indicates weakness where it's like, oh shit, we better hurry and do this. I know that they threw out like, oh, this increased labor weakness. That was nonsense. We debunked that. I feel like there was never, everything other than that one SOM index trigger, which actually dropped a tick back down. Other than that, we haven't seen anything. So I think my opinion is this is still inflation has come down enough that we can start hitting it to be in front of, right? So no, this doesn't need an explanation for me. The higher low on the VIX is the explanation. And then we could say, here's why we think it showed up. But this is so early in the day. If the Fed news makes the market happy, then by the end of the day, it's going to look like this. Here, I'll actually draw it right over top. That's the start no matter what. And if it comes back down, that becomes a shadow. This thing could look like this by the end of the day. No problem. Right? No problem. It could do that. Maybe even further down. It could get all the way back down to the old low. So this is what it looks like now, right? Is this box, but at the time, if it reverses, it's gonna come around, and then you're gonna be like, oh, wait a second, that actually is now a lower high because it went from here to here and then came down, lower high. So today could literally be a higher low or a lower high by the end of the day. That's where we are. Could be either one, which is kind of a, not often that a signal from the VIX could legitimately be considered either way by the end of the day. That's how I see it. I don't know. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Let's go look at the watch list. Apple. Trying to make a little bounce, but for me, I'd like to see, now it feels like it's consolidative. Let's just, something like that would be fantastic, right? Kind of looks like it did back here. So we're just waiting for it to pop up out and give us something. If it would have held, Aflac pausing a little bit now, Amazon pausing a little bit now, AXP pausing a little bit now. Bank of America looks like it wants to try. This is what it wants to go. It wants to go. It's like, hey, you thinking about it? And I'm like, yeah, I am. Look at industrials. Look at BLDR. What a beast. What a beast. Could have made a little more on that one. Carrier. Beast. Look at these industrials. Love industrials showing that strength. Caterpillar, not a new high, but still strong. CL, I'm thinking about it still. This still feels like a pullback to me, but you'll notice new high, old high, new low, right? Old resistance becoming new support. We're at that level. Keeping a close eye on it. CMG, Sandy booked her gain on it. Love it. Looking for the next trade. Costco, looking for the next trade. Ooh, wait a second. Just got to be careful. There's not a lot of time before earnings there. Don't forget to pay attention to that. Overextended. Fastenal still kind of pushing on up. Moving on up to the east side. Gold overextended. General Motors. Look at General Motors. Still going. I tell you, there are times when I'm like talking about and I'm like, I don't love like big volatile entries, right? I don't love that. I like nice, steady entries. But there are so many times where it has that and then it does fine. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should have. Google. I know, right, Press? But that GM is still, whatever it's doing, it's doing it. Google is lower low here, still a lower high here. But I think that's enough. It hasn't done like a break of the consolidation. But it has done, it is embarrassing, right? Google, come on, man. You're better than that. This could be a sneaky reversal without the breakout. That's what it would look like, right? Someone might argue this was the consolidation and then they have what they're looking for. Great. If you want to take that perspective, it still has to do this. So whether you consider it sneaky or not, that's the only thing I would see that would make me think about this is this little J hook at the end. Goldman, no. Taking some gains if you haven't. It's done. Looking for the pullback, but I like to see consumer discretionary strength. The exchanges are still grinding higher. IWM just kind of sitting. JP Morgan, IFI, KKR got to new highs. Coca-Cola. All right. Come on, Coca-Cola. Let's do this. You're looking like you want to go, so let's go. MasterCard. Overextended. McDonald's. Hard to say. Meta. Hitting resistance, kind of that ascending triangle type pattern that we're seeing. $3M, a little bit of a pullback. Morgan Stanley, no. Microsoft pulling. I love Microsoft on this pullback, though, you guys. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I love this. Microsoft. We need someone from tech who's going to lead the way. Apple looked like it wanted to, then it couldn't. Nvidia wanted to, couldn't. Microsoft can do it. Microsoft has the ability. And DAQ, come on. You want to go up. Like, what are you doing? You know you want to go up. Little hiccup. We know we can't get shook on hiccups, though. Netflix looks like it's engulfed. That's a little more concerning. Okay, so this actually, I like this as well. So both NVIDIA and Microsoft. If you're in it, you might still be in it. If you weren't, then this is right. This is kind of that If this is my consolidation, then this is the breakout. It did have good volume on the breakout. And now on the pullback, if we don't get back to the old low, any of this for a turn anywhere from here or even a little later, yeah, I'm interested. PGR, PLTR got to its target. Now what? Now I'm looking for a pullback in the next trade. Took it all. QQQ sitting. RKT back to resistance. RTX. I don't know. So RTX kind of moved outside of what we were seeing as representative of industrial sector. This is a defense stock in the not defensive like Staples or utilities. Defense like they build weapons, right? But it looks like it could bounce. It just hasn't yet, right? I mean, it looks strong. SPY. So we're just kind of sitting, right? There's that first candle. Then we got a little bit of a recovery. Let's go see how that looks on the ESs. Whoop. Okay, so how big was this candle here? The range, if you don't know the R up here, the R is the range of the candle. The range of that candle was 12. We're going to get way bigger than that. Way bigger. 20, 30 point candles in a minute. Maybe more. Don't miss the excitement. Come back with us. Okay, where were we? Tesla. Anyone trading Tesla right now? It's pretty lackluster, if you ask me. Not super interesting. TSM looking all right. TSM has the same kind of pattern, I think, as Nvidia, where it broke out and now it's doing this. Take your pick. Right? Take your pick. UNP before the robo taxi. What's the is that like their new thing of like an autonomous taxi? I don't think it's coming. Is it supposed to actually be happening? In what city are they doing that? I think it's going to flop. I think someone's going to get hit by a taxi on day 2 and it's going to like, here's the deal, man. If you're a person, you can hit somebody with a car. That's just part of like, the risks of society. But if you're a robot and you hit somebody, that's it, man. No one trusts any of it. We're like, no, this will not stand. Even if the data shows that statistically it's better, I don't know, man. It's going to take a lot of time for, some big lawsuits right off the bat that are, I don't know. We'll see. Before they canceled the August. See, I think it's going to be one of those things when he's like, watch me throw this metal ball at this bulletproof window. Shatters. He's like, oh, shit. Like, he should do a demo where Musk walks in the crosswalk. Does he trust it enough to walk in the crosswalk with the taxi coming by? UMP, it's pausing. Yeah, I'm not going to be very patient after the Fed with this one. It was kind of like getting to this point where I'm like, all right, what I was looking for is here. It's got to accelerate into it after the announcement or it's not going to come. USB, Dollar staying low, VIX staying higher. Not high, but higher. Walmart. Oh, put it on the list. Walmart looking much better. Basic materials overextended. Communication services overextended. Energy. Energy looks great. Slight downtrend. Everything's fine there. Financials look okay. They didn't get to new highs, but they have plenty of strength for me. Although, I want you to notice industrials has moved into a leading position over financials. We talked a little bit about this, that a lowering interest rate environment is going to squeeze the margins to some extent in financials. So careful what you wish for. Tech. I think this is what we're relying on. This is the consolidation. This volume breakout there puts us up into this area. Now what am I looking for? I'm looking for the higher low, the turn. If we get technology back into a leading position, that's going to be a huge stride towards that. We want those next couple of steps, right? In our market posture score, a little bit more strength in sector rotation, a little bit more strength in the VIX. Bam, we're sitting at a 6. That's all we need. We get to that 6. Oh, if we could have a 6 for the rest of this year, it'd be amazing. What do I think of MU? Micron. I think Micron is a bit dumpster diving right now. It is in a descending triangle. However, oversold for sure. What do I need to see? Careful with earnings. I would need to see this thing break up, pull back, higher low. If I get that, I'm ready. Then I'm ready. Didn't really have a reversal back here. I love it. Miguel says fast is slow. This was really our first higher low, and it kind of started this trend. Yeah, I'm waiting on that. I think Nvidia and TSM are the leaders in that group. They're going to be the ones kind of showing the way. Staples, still fine. Utilities. AMD, maybe. You're right. Okay. There it is. That's our story for Fed Day. A lot of overextended. So, I mean, ideally, quite honestly, I feel like a quarter point with market actually pulling back a little bit, where it's just like a tepid pullback. That's ideal. Give us a couple of days of pullback and let's get a whole new batch of trades on, right? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so trading plan. If you're working on your trading plan, you're working on record keeping. Oh, I don't think they're going to be doing anything right now. But I did lock them in. Bob, thank you for reminding me. I just kind of slapped these on. The calendar spread. is up $25. No, let's see. Today is the 18th. Yeah, up $25 today. The vertical spread down 23 today. The puts up 54 today. So they should have a pretty decent correlation of risk. You can see that they're three kind of mixed results, but yeah, that's interesting. We'll keep looking at them. I've got them all locked in so we can have a sense for those as we go through. Lastly, record keeping. Make sure you're working on your log. Period. Work on your trading log on Thursday in the second half. I want to talk a little bit about record keeping to make sure that we continue to integrate the trading plan section with our working sessions. No press. I will have those. I will post those this morning here. Give me just like within the next little bit. I will post those into the recording channel. It's good to see everybody. We made it. Fed Day should be an interesting day. Keep an eye. We'll meet up close to 2 p.m. Eastern. And then an hour after that, Glenn will be in to just kind of talk through the end of the day. Cool. I know it seems like we've been waiting for so long for this, right? I agree. Sounds like Christmas. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys soon. As always, happy trading.